Good afternoon, Yankee fans. How's everybody doing on a really cool, nice Wednesday here in New York City, of course. I hope everybody's had a nice lunch and getting ready for our big show. And without any further ado, I want to say hello to George. George, how you doing? How's everything?
Doing good, Joe. Happy to be here. Got an exciting one today. I'm really excited for this.
Very, very, very excited. Thanks to Nitin's Sports Rush. Very, very kind of Nitin. And to introduce our next guest, I'm very, very excited to bring up. She has done so much, not only in the community of the Yogi Berra Museum, but she did a fantastic documentary on her grandfather, Yogi Berra. I think people have heard of him, and we're so excited to bring her up. And let's do that with any further ado. Let's go right to it, guys. Lindsay, how you doing? Welcome to NY Yankee Mania. Thank you.
I am great. Thank you so much for having me on. Hi, everybody.
How's your day going? And whatever you like to talk about, we're gonna fill the people's minds of a great
whatever I want to talk about. If we want to talk about what I want to talk about, we're going to talk about like hiking mountains in Spain. It won't be anything to do with me.
Well, you just came back from a hiking, right?
I did. It was great. I was hiking in the Pyrenees, which is the mountain range that's the border between Spain and France. See, nobody knew that they were going to get a geography lesson today.
Wow, awesome! So you're really into that big time, huh?
Yeah, I love it. It's my favorite thing to do on vacation. I'm not the best at sitting still, so like going to the beach and sitting there all day is not really my MO. I'm better at point me towards a target and just say go, and I'll just keep walking until I get there.
Jeez. Well, what about local sports? I mean, do you participate in any baseball or basketball? What do you do?
Not so much anymore. I was a 3-sport athlete growing up. I played soccer, ice hockey, and softball at Livingston High School. I grew up here in Livingston, New Jersey. I'm pointing like you guys can see. My Livingston is over there.
I see it. There it is.
And I played varsity softball at the University of North Carolina. I'm a Tar Heel. And I also played men's club hockey at UNC. I was the captain of the boys hockey team in high school at Livingston. Wow. I kept playing hockey after college because it was, I just enjoyed it. That was the sport I played the longest. And nowadays in my, as I get older, I'm doing a lot of hiking. I do play golf a little bit. I work out a lot. I was a CrossFit coach for many years and I still do CrossFit. Lift and run and bike and that kind of stuff. But I don't do too much as far as organized sports are concerned anymore.
Well, one thing that wouldn't surprise me, because you're in fantastic shape, would be playing volleyball.
I have never played volleyball aside from a couple of beach tournaments in my life. Never been.
Really?
Nope.
You should team up with Meredith Marakowitz. I mean, that's why,
Meredith is a foot taller than me.
Well, that doesn't mean anything. You can still be a great volleyball player.
I've never. It's really volleyball, and I didn't play really much. Like I didn't do a lot of racket sports, so no like tennis. I am not involved in the pickleball craze. None of that stuff.
No, that's unbelievable. Well, we're going to get started with one thing, and everybody's asking me to ask you, and that is, how does it feel to be the granddaughter of Yogi Berra? And how did you feel growing up?
Yeah, people ask me this all the time. When I was a kid, I had no idea that my grandfather was a famous person of any kind, baseball player or otherwise. I didn't think he was any different than my friends' grandfathers who were like accountants or school bus drivers, or they worked on Wall Street or whatever the heck these people did. He was just my grandpa, and his job happened to be that at the time he was a baseball coach. But I didn't know that was special in any way. And by the time I was old enough to really understand that A, his job was special, and that B, he had been a really special player prior to getting his job as a coach, he'd already been just Grandpa Yogi for so long that it was very hard for me to reconcile Grandpa Yogi and Yogi Berra. They were kind of two different people in my head. And even now, as an older person, when I think about Grandpa Yogi, he is the guy who we used to decorate the Christmas tree with and roll meatballs with and play wiffle ball in the yard with. And he used to burn all the hot dogs at all our family barbecues. And Yogi Berra is the other guy with the 358 home runs and the 10 World Series championships. And even though I know, obviously, they're the same person, they're just a little bit different in the way that they exist in my head. And, nowadays, I obviously understand what a special player he was. And I also understand that folks today, not a lot of people got the chance to see him play. When you ask people who's the greatest catcher of all time, I hear, Johnny Bench and Pudge Rodriguez and all these other people. And I'm like, hello, you've really never looked at the numbers. Come on. So I think that character he became later in life with all of his yogiisms, and he was, the Yogi Bear stuff, I think that kind of overshadowed how good he was on the field. And it's important for me for people to remember just how good of a player he was, but then also how good of a human being he was. As good as he was on the field, he never for a second thought he was better than anyone else. He treated everybody he met with, kindness and decency and respect, and would always stop and talk to you and have a conversation with you. He was a World War II veteran. He was a first generation Italian immigrant, had this beautiful 65-year love affair with my grandma Carmen. He was a great guy in addition to being a great player.
Real Bill here is one of our loyal listeners forever. And he asked, talk about your grandfather's Purple Heart, everything that happened and how that occurred and all of that. That's really, really interesting.
This is a interesting story. He actually does not have a Purple Heart. So Grandpa Yogi, I'll start at the very beginning. He was playing baseball for the Norfolk Tars in the Piedmont League. He had signed a contract for the 1942-43 season for $90 a month. He would have gotten $500 bonus had he stayed the whole year, but he turned 18 on May 12th, 1943. He was already in Norfolk, Virginia, and he literally walked himself over to the big naval base in Norfolk and enlisted before he had a chance to be drafted. He felt it was his duty to serve his country. He goes to basic training, and only my grandpa Yogi could be bored at basic training. So they came around and asked for volunteers for a secret mission, and he volunteers to have something to do. And it ends up being training for the amphibious assault of Normandy Beach. So he ends up it was training for the rocket boats, basically. So he ends up on an LCSS, Landing Craft Support Small, which was a smaller boat that came off of a bigger boat called the USS Bayfield. That was Grandpa's transport ship. They were put into the waters off of Omaha Beach on D-Day, and they had 12 rockets on each side of the boat, twin 50 caliber machine guns at the back. And he was a machine gunner providing cover fire for our troops going ashore during the D-Day invasion. He was on the water for 10 days there. After the beach was secure, he had the very unenviable job of pulling the bodies of his fallen comrades out of the water and returning them to the USS Bayfield so they could be brought home. And then later on, that was Operation Overlord D-Day. He was part of Operation Dragoon, which was the invasion of southern France. And it is in that invasion that we think he was hit in the left hand. We know he was hit in the left hand. We don't know if it was a bullet or a piece of shrapnel. I don't think he knows. It went clean through his hand. Luckily, it didn't really do any damage. But he was wounded. And when you're wounded in combat, you qualify for a Purple Heart. But in order to actually qualify for and get this Purple Heart, you have to fill out the paperwork and put your name on there and your address and sign things, right? And he did not want his mother to get a telegram at home notifying her about the injury and have her worry that he'd been hurt. So he declined to fill out his paperwork. So he actually never got his Purple Heart. And then, fast forward, 65 years or so, we start thinking, well, it would be really nice if we had Grandpa's Purple Heart at the Yogi Berra Museum and Learning Center for people to look at.
Yeah.
So we started to try to figure out how to get this Purple Heart. And the very, very, very long story short, I've already been talking for a long time, is that in order to get a Purple Heart, you have to be able to prove beyond a shadow of a doubt that you were wounded. We needed what was the equivalent of my grandfather's DD-214, which is your release papers that include your medical records. And they're very famously, in 1973 at the National Archives building in St. Louis, there was a fire and a lot of military records were destroyed. My grandfather's military records were in a vault on whatever floor of this building when the fire occurred, with the paperwork of other famous folks who had served in the military, like Gene Autry and such. And that door was open when the fire happened, and all of their medical records were destroyed. So we had no way to prove that he was wounded without his medical records. And I went through like 5 years of trying to get folks go through other National Archives. There's an archives building in Baltimore that is it houses all of the Purple Heart cards, those things that Grandpa did not fill out from World War I through Vietnam. And this guy goes in there during COVID. I was in touch with one of their employees, and he was doing some research for me. And he goes in. He's the only one in the building. He looks through all the stacks. And he calls me that night and he says, "You're not going to believe this. We have every Purple Heart card for all 4 branches of the military from World War I through Vietnam, with the exception of U.S. Navy, World War II, A through C. I can't find it. It's not here." So they were missing the ABCs from World War II in the Navy, and Grandpa, we couldn't find it. And it was a long process, but the very long story, not very short, is that we weren't able to prove he was wounded, and we don't actually have his Purple Heart, even though he qualified for it.
As you're telling this story, first of all, I'm viewing the documentary that you did, and everyone in the chat and everybody listening and watching, this is so amazing. I mean, the way she just described this is it's to my heart. I mean, it is amazing. Anybody that has not seen that documentary, you've got to watch this. It was put together and not because Lindsay's right in front of me right now. I've always said it, and I couldn't wait to go and see it. I didn't want it to end. If it were up to me, I would have watched it for 10 hours. And I got to tell you, thank you so much for bringing that to us, because it brought tears in my eyes. It really did.
Thank you for watching it. I'm still amazed that I made a movie that anybody watches. So thank you. And if everyone
emotional, so that's just me, and I can't help it. But
I have to say, like so first of all, for the people who haven't seen it, we are no longer on Netflix, but we are on Amazon and Apple, and you can watch it on YouTube, and it's called It Ain't Over. So check it out if you have a chance. When you say you teared up, so when we first premiered the movie,
tearing up right now.
It premiered at the Tribeca Film Festival in 2022, which is the big film festival in New York City. And we had 6 sold out showings of the film at the Tribeca Film Festival in 2022. And right after that, my director, Sean Mullen, says, "You're going to come with me to Nantucket next week. We're going to show it at the Nantucket Film Festival." And right away, I'm like, "Sean, it's a literal island of Red Sox fans. Why are we doing that?" Right? Like, I have it in my head that they're going to like throw tomatoes at the screen or something, right? So we go up and we have a couple of screenings at Nantucket, and they're all sold out, and people love the film, and it ends up winning some prize at the Nantucket Film Festival. But after the first screening, the lights come up, and you can hear like the people crying and whatnot. And we got one of my favorite reviews after that showing, and it said, "The closing credits were met with rapturous applause and the sound of grown men weeping." And this was on an island of Red Sox fans. Yep. And after that happened, it became sort of like a little personal goal of mine to make sure that at least one person was crying every time we showed the film.
Well, you got one right here.
Yeah.
Oh my God. You did it. Really. I can't thank you enough for putting that out for every fan and everybody who cares about him. And still, I always talk about the future. and we'll always care for him, and we'll always care for you, the museum, and all. And we will get to the museum in just a couple of seconds. But I know, George, you have a couple of questions. Please, by all means, go ahead.
Yeah, a little bit actually had to do with the museum, so I guess we could segue into that through some questions.
Sure.
I just wanted to like talk about what does it mean to you to like be able to carry on. You talked about how much it means to tell people about how your grandfather was a great baseball player, a great person. So what does it mean? Because you're a board member at the Yogi Berra Museum, you're part of this museum. What does it mean to you to be able to carry on his legacy day in and day out and reach new audiences? I mean, I live in Cedar Grove, so I've been to the museum a few times, and it's really great, really educational. So just brush a little bit about what it's meant to you personally to be able to carry on your grandfather's great legacy.
Yeah, I mean, I love it. Having people remember him, as I said before, as a great player and a great human is very important to me. And what's really cool about the museum is that folks your age and a lot younger, I mean, we get a lot of we do these educational programs, and they really cater towards 5th and 6th graders. So we're getting a lot of 10, 11, 12-year-olds into the museum. And we have grants where every 5th and 6th grader in Newark and every 5th and 6th grader in Paterson, New Jersey, both underserved communities, they all get to come to the museum. And a lot of these kids really, they've never heard of Yogi Berra. Some of them are not even baseball fans, but it's really cool that they come to the museum and they hear Grandpa's story and they can connect with him on a level that has nothing to do with baseball. They learn about him being an immigrant. They learn about him being underestimated at every turn, told he was too ugly to be a Yankee, that he looked like a fire hydrant or an ape or a gorilla or a fat girl running in a too tight skirt. That's my favorite. I don't even know who says these things. It's obnoxious. But, you know, he was told, you can't, you're too short, you're too fat, you're too this, you're not an athlete, whatever. And he just went on and proved everybody wrong. So I think the kids come in and they can be inspired by that, whether they're a baseball fan or not. You know, we talk a lot about how, you know, my grandfather started his baseball career in 1946, which is before Jackie Robinson came into the big leagues, well before the civil rights movement kicked off in this country. And he was very friendly with Jackie Robinson, with Minnie Minoso, with all the first Black and Latin players. Larry Doby Jr. Larry Doby lived here in Montclair, right around the corner from my grandpa. They were great pals. Larry Doby Jr. is also a board member at the Yogi Berra Museum and Learning Center with me. And, you know, I don't like to say that, you know, I'm not saying for a second that my grandfather was a civil rights activist, but he was, you know, a good guy in a good place when those guys came up, and he was able to go up and be the good guy that he was, and say hi to his friends and have other people see that this was right to him, that they were in the big leagues. And, you know, we have all these kids come in, and Jenny Pollock, our education director, a couple of months ago, we had a group of students from Newark come in, and she asked the group, does anyone know anything about Yogi Berra? And they were all very quiet. And a kid raised his hand, and she said, well, what do you know about Yogi Berra? And he said, I know he was nice to Black people. And if that's the only thing that these kids learn or remember or take away, that you can be good to everybody, then that's fine with me. That's his legacy as well.
Yeah, and I think that just shows so much about not just his influence on the field. I mean, he's a top 3 catcher of all time, maybe even top 1, but just how he was as a person, how he just expressed himself. He's just such a great person, and you just really feel that when you walk into this museum. I mean, it's such great on display. My other question was, I got this flyer actually about an event, and I'm hoping you could touch more about this. Sure. It's at the field on Montclair State. They're having this big thing. I believe it's in memory of Yogi, the world's biggest game of catch. Can you just talk a little bit about that? I'll be there too, participating in that, but I'm really excited.
We're very excited about this. So May 12th, this past May 12th, would have been my Grandpa Yogi's 100th birthday. Okay. And in honor of his centennial year, we're doing a lot of events over the summer just to commemorate his 100th birthday. And the big event that we're doing is, as you mentioned, in September. It's on September 21st at 1:00 in the afternoon. It's called Yogi's Big Catch Challenge. And we are going to, I just keep saying we're going to break. We're not going to attempt to break it. We are going to break the Guinness World Record for the largest game of catch. The record is 900 and something pairs, so about like 1,900 people and change. We're hoping to get 2,500, which is the limit that the Montclair State University safety people have told us we can stuff onto that field.
Wow.
So you can get more information about it at yogisbigcatch.org, or if you go to our Yogi Museum website, yogiberramuseum.org, it'll kick you over to yogisbigcatch.org. Sign up as a pair, sign up as an individual, grab your glove, and come on out on Sunday, September 21st, and help us break this record. It's going to be a really fun day. There's a couple cool things going on. I mean, we're going to have lots of food trucks and music and cool giveaways and all kinds of stuff going on the concourse and whatnot. But for the first time, to my knowledge, since Grandpa was inducted into the Hall of Fame in 1972, his plaque will be leaving the Hall of Fame in Cooperstown and coming to the Yogi Berra Museum on that day. So it will be on display in the theater at the museum, and you can get your picture taken with Grandpa Yogi's Hall of Fame plaque without having to drive all the way up to Cooperstown. Although if you haven't been there, you should go there too, because it's lovely.
Yeah, really nice.
It's just going to be a really fun day. Again, yogisbigcatch.org. Everybody can check it out and sign up, and we need all hands on deck to break that record.
Yeah, we're gonna leave that flyer on NY Yankee Mania all the way up to the event. So, we're very excited. And I'm gonna try my darndest to get down there too, because number one, I'd like to meet you in person and say thank you. That's what I really would love to do.
You gotta come though. Don't come with an empty car. You gotta fill it up and bring some folks to us.
Don't worry. We're an Italian family. Come on, let's
shove them all in. Put them in the trunk. Let's go.
I'll get them all from Sicily. Don't worry. I have no problem with that. One thing before we start, we answer. So, if you don't mind answering a couple of questions from the chat.
Sure.
Yogi's friendship with Phil Rizzuto. I was always impressed with that. What can you tell us a little bit about that friendship?
So Grandpa and Phil were really great friends. I mean, I knew Phil from the time I was born. He is actually my father. My dad is Larry Berra, the oldest Berra son, and Phil Rizzuto is my father's godfather, which tells you what my Grandpa Yogi, Grandpa was a very Catholic guy, and obviously being a godparent is very important in the Catholic religion, and he selected Phil to be the godfather of his firstborn child. So it tells you what he thought of Phil right there. But they were teammates, the whole time. They stayed friends. They played in each other's golf outings. My grandmother and Cora Rizzuto were very, very close. Their friendship was just, they were really like best friends. And, there's the story that everyone loves is when Phil was in the assisted living facility towards the end of his life. It was down in Tinton Falls, which is about like 50 minutes from us. And Grandpa Yogi used to drive down there and play cards with him and chat with him. And then he would hold his hand until he fell asleep. And then he would get up and go. And he did that for the whole time that Phil was in the assisted living facility. So they were very close.
There was also an extension to that. I don't know if you remember. I also worked a little bit with Eddie Lucas.
Yep.
Eddie Lucas was very close. He had some beautiful stories about Yogi. And then he had the foundation, for the blind. And Eddie Lucas was a tremendous guy to work with. He came on our radio show years ago in the early '90s, and his segment was just like in the paper, As I See It.
Yeah.
And I loved it. I loved working with him.
I just played in Eddie's golf outing last week with the David, so Phil Rizzuto teamed up with Ed Lucas and they did that golf outing together for many years. And my grandfather used to go. And after Grandpa Yogi passed, my dad would go. And then when Phil passed, David Cohn took over the celebrity side of the organization. And now they have the David Cohn golf outing in support of the Ed Lucas Foundation. So it was just last Thursday, and I played in that, and they had some great Yankees out for that day. It was terrific. I was palling around on the golf course all day with Mickey Rivers and Howard Johnson heckling me like Waldorf and Statler from the Muppets. They were in the cart. They didn't play. They just sat in the cart and heckled everybody all day long.
That sounds like Mickey Rivers. That
Yeah.
definitely sounds like Mickey Rivers because like him, he was hysterical. I mean, he pranked everyone. He was amazing.
Yeah, he was
I
another guy that I've known since I was a little kid. So yeah, it's they're a fun bunch of guys.
Oh yeah, that I had the pleasure growing up of being in the locker room, being on the field at the old Yankee Stadium, and I got to tell you, Lindsay, it was probably just the greatest thrill of my life. I mean, it was just and Yogi was coaching at the time, and I got to meet Billy Martin and actually had an interview with George Steinbrenner. So that was quite I mean a little young kid, but he happened to be one of the nicest guys, all of
Yep.
them. I mean, it was just a time I'll never forget. And I'll tell you, if we had people like Yogi and Mickey Mantle now, how about the times they were together? But Yogi was the quiet one. They went to do it, but Yogi was a Yankee through and through, and that's what you need. And that's one of the segment leading into Richard. Your grandfather and I could say that this symbol for the New York Yankees, he wasn't the great party guy like Billy Martin and Mickey Mantle, but he was a Yankee symbol through and through.
Yeah.
I totally agree with that.
Grandpa was definitely, I think this is true of a lot of catchers. He was kind of like the glue that held the team together. But he was great friends with Billy Martin, Mickey Mantle, Whitey Ford, Hank Bauer, Moose Scourin, and they were all together. Guys don't stay on the same team for years and years and years today the way they did back then. So these guys were teammates for forever, and they really became like brothers. My dad tells these great stories about they'd play Saturday double headers in the 50s and 60s, and then Sunday day games. And then after the Sunday 1:00 game, they'd all go to somebody's house for a barbecue. So any given Sunday, you'd see like Mickey Mantle kicking a football in my grandfather's front yard, Gil McDougall chipping golf balls, like they'd just be out on the lawn playing with all the kids. They were close, their families were close. Grandpa's not known for being the party guy, but he was out with them just as much. He just didn't drink as much. But one of my favorite, the Copacabana story when they got in the fight in defense of Sammy Davis Jr. at the Copa. The next morning, there's a bunch of reporters out on my grandparents' front lawn in Montclair, and my grandmother's like yelling upstairs to Grandpa, like, you got to come down and say something or these people are never going to leave our front lawn. So Grandpa just stuck his head out the door and he said, "Ain't nobody done nothing to nobody," and then closed the door and went back upstairs. And I love that story.
You have there's a question here in an email from Teresa. She says, first of all, congratulations on the documentary and everything that you're doing for the museum for your grandfather. But what she really wants to ask you is, what was it like? What was your feeling and your grandpa's feeling when he went back to Yankee Stadium?
It was interesting because I was I was 6 when Grandpa Yogi got fired by George in 1985.
85, yes.
And I was the only grandkid who was old enough to have any memory of Grandpa at Yankee Stadium. We didn't go for 14 years. Like, my family just didn't go to the ballpark. I went one time in high school, and I remember my friend had season tickets, and she asked me if I wanted to go with her and her family, and I was like, "Ooh, I don't know if I'm allowed to go." So I called Grandpa and I said, "Hey, Grandpa, Suzanne has season tickets. Is it okay if I go to the game?" And he said, "Why not? You ain't got no beef with George." So I went to the game with Suzanne. That was the only game I had been to in that 14-year stretch. That was like probably around 1993. And then, when Susan Waldman helped to engineer that, makeup between George and Grandpa, that was at the Yogi Berra Museum and Learning Center. We had just opened.
Yep.
And, it was crazy. George walked in the door and Grandpa tapped his watch and said, "You're late." And they went into the back room and there was a little bit of a kerfuffle. And then my grandmother went in and put the smack down. And then George apologized and it was all over. It was like it had never happened. So I do think that when Grandpa was away, he he was never away from baseball. He was coaching in Houston, and he would see all of his former Yankee teammates at everybody's charity events and golf outings, and was keeping in touch with everybody. He just wasn't in the ballpark. And I think the people who really missed him the most were the fans. Unfortunately, they didn't get to see him at all those old timers days, and that those 14 years of players who were with the Yankees at that point didn't get to see Grandpa and learn from him. But when Grandpa went back, like I remember my whole family was there on Yogi Berra Day in 1999, and it was very surreal to see 56,000 people stand up and start chanting.
I was one of them.
I mean, it was amazing, right? It was and then obviously the perfect game and all that stuff was ridiculous. But so I am very grateful that happened, because Grandpa was really back in his element at that time. And I mean, as soon as George apologized, Grandpa was there for spring training the moment the park opened up. And he spent the next, from 99, I think the last year he went to spring training was 2012. So the next 13 years he went down and was a guest instructor at spring training. And, being with the guys, I really do believe that as much as they, got to learn from him, they gave him just as much as in return, because it kept him young. I think it probably added another 10 years to his life, the fact that he made up with George and was back involved with the Yankees. So
that was just a great scene.
I was very happy.
Yeah. Richard says, I can honestly tell you that I saw your grandfather play. I believe I already told Joe he was the best bad hitter, except maybe for Roberto Clemente, that he's ever seen.
Bad ball hitter, yeah. He was definitely very much known for that. I've heard many stories from pitchers over the years who say they try to like throw a waste pitch or throw something real far out of the batter's backs, and Grandpa ended up poking it out for a double, and they'd be like, what? Like, that wasn't even supposed to be anywhere near the plate. Roberto Clemente, though, I will say, he died in 1972. Is that right? Yes. I think it was 72. So 5 years before I was born. And even as like a 5, 6, 7, 8-year-old child, and I had never seen Roberto Clemente play, I knew that you do not run on Roberto, because my dad and my grandpa Yogi talked with such reverence about his arm from right field that, like, I just knew as a 5-year-old, if Roberto Clemente's got the ball, you stay put, right?
Yes. Oh, yes. SGA Sports Talk channel says, hi, Lindsay. Can you share your love of becoming a sports journalist?
It was kind of an interesting, it was like that. It was almost kind of like I didn't have a choice. When I grew up, my whole family was super into sports and all the sports. Like at my grandparents' house, like there was always something on, be it like the NCAA basketball tournament or golf or baseball. But Grandpa was a big boxing fan. I grew up watching fights with my grandpa. And when I got time to like pick a major in college or decide what I wanted to do with myself, I had taken AP English. I was a really good writer. I didn't know what I wanted to do for a living. And my mother said, well, you're a really good writer and you know a ton about sports, so why don't you go to journalism school? And for lack of a better idea, that's what I did. So I was, I went to University of North Carolina, graduated with a journalism degree, started at ESPN Magazine right after graduation, and I was there for 13 years covering hockey, tennis, baseball, boxing, 3 Olympic Games, a lot of really fun stuff at ESPN Magazine. And then I left there in 2012 and went to MLB.com and MLB Network, and I was there for 6 years. Right. And then I was laid off in 2018, unfortunately. And since then, I was telling Joe this earlier, I work the legendary pitching coach Tom House, who he was in the bullpen and caught Hank Aaron's record-breaking home run in 1974. But he was Nolan Ryan and Greg Maddux and Randy Johnson's pitching coach. And he started doing motion capture analysis of pitchers many, many years ago. He now has Parkinson's disease, and he's developed an app to keep all of his data so it wouldn't be lost to history. It's an app called Mustard, where you can take a 2D picture video of somebody pitching, and you get a 11 mechanical variable report card that includes all of Tom's variables of the pitching delivery, and whatever you fail, it gives you a coaching plan to improve. It's like having Tom House in your pocket. We now have that that app for golf as well. So that's what I'm doing now.
Well, Anna is going to put you on the spot. And I don't even want to ask you this because I don't know how you're going to answer this, but in the Berra household, are you Yankee fans or are you Met fans? I promise.
I'm going to tell Anna a story that is going to blow her mind, right? So in the Berra household, we do tend to root for both teams. And then we'll pick in the postseason kind of based on which guys we like better. But my father, when he was a child, like a little kid, a little guy, like when he was like, I don't know, 7 years old, say, he and my Uncle Timmy, who was 2 years younger, they used to annoy the crap out of Mickey Mantle, right? There's a very famous story of my Uncle Timmy going up to Mantle after like a 3 strikeout game, which didn't happen very often. And Mickey's all sad and he thinks Uncle Timmy's going to go up, like, he's 5-year-old kid's going to say something cute. And Uncle Timmy taps him on the leg. And Mickey looks up and he goes, "Mickey, you stink." So they used to make Mickey crazy. They used to crawl all over him, climb around in his locker. My dad really liked Ted Williams as a hitter. So when the Red Sox came to town, my grandfather used to tell my dad and Uncle Tim, go to the Red Sox clubhouse and bother Ted for a while. Give Mickey a break. So they would go down to the Red Sox clubhouse. And Ted Williams, who very famously hated everyone, somehow takes a liking to my 7-year-old father. And my dad ends up going to Ted's baseball camp in Massachusetts. He actually played for Ted's Cape Cod League team in Katuitt. He developed this friendship with Ted Williams and becomes a closet Red Sox fan. So in 1985, when Grandpa and George Steinbrenner have their falling out, my dad becomes a very out of the closet Red Sox fan and wears the paraphernalia, openly rooting for the Red Sox. Then he and Grandpa and George make up in 1999. And my dad kind of keeps both going. And now he's a 75-year-old man who will walk into Fenway Park and Yankee Stadium wearing like a Yankee cap and a Red Sox pullover.
Oh my gosh.
And you watch people walk up to him and it's like they're going to say something nasty to him. And then they stop themselves because they think there must be something wrong with him. And they just keep walking.
Oh my God. That is a great story. Oh my Jesus. George, you want to chime in a little bit?
I mean, wow. I mean, just like, I mean, that just surprised me, man. Just does he sing along to Sweet Caroline?
I mean, I bet he would if he was there. I mean, why not? It's kind of fun.
So what was it like kind of growing up around these players? I mean, you grew up around guys like Mickey Mantle. I mean, that's like a 1 in a million thing. How did that help shape your journalism career and your love for the game as a baseball fan, just growing up around all these legendary players?
It's like I said, same thing with Grandpa. Like, they were just normal guys. They were my grandfather's friends. So I didn't really think of Mickey Mantle as like this famous Mickey Mantle, the switch hitting home run hitter from both sides of the plate. Like, I didn't think of him like that. It was just Mick, right? Like, he's here for dinner. He's eating Grammy's linguine, right? Like, it wasn't like it was like they weren't like that. Like sometimes I remember when I was in high school, I played softball and I was really fast. And in softball, bunt singles are a thing, right? You would lay down a bunt and leg it out. And we were in like a county tournament and like I was getting like heckled from the stands because the other team was saying that it was a cheap way to get on base. And I remember telling Mickey that and him saying, "Cheap way to get on base. Who's paying? You do whatever you need to do. You just get on the ground and leg it out." He used to do that all the time. They were just good guys and super fun to hang out with. And again, like just good friends to my grandfather, which you always appreciate in retrospect.
So you're the oldest of all your siblings?
I'm the oldest of all my siblings and the oldest of Grandpa's 11 grandkids. And it like pains me to say that. I feel like I have to start saying first so I don't sound so old.
So do you have younger?
You don't look it, that's for sure.
Do you have like younger siblings and cousins who like don't see guys like Mickey Mantle as just one of Grandpa's friends? They see him as like this legendary baseball player because of the age difference?
They were all kind of around for that as well. I mean, Mickey passed when did Mickey die? Late 90s, right? So, I mean, my siblings, they're all, they're not that far behind me that they didn't know these guys as the guys who were just kind of always around. I mean, sure, we all know that they were famous people, but they were Grandpa's buddies. And if you met them, spent any time with them, they were very normal. And you asked how it kind of influenced my journalism career. I mean, it was probably a positive and a negative that I maybe didn't have the reverence for a lot of the new players the way a lot of other sports writers might, because I was very aware that they were all just normal people, like Aaron Judge is he's an amazing guy and he's an amazing hitter, but he's not actually like a Marvel superhero. He's just Aaron Judge, right? He's a guy, right? And that's said with all due respect to Aaron Judge, right? But he's like a human with feelings and a family and parents and now a baby, and he's got a life that's outside of baseball that he will live when he's done with baseball. Baseball is just a small part of this for all these folks. There's so much more than that.
Lindsay, that now that you said that, actually, that's how I got in with sports. I had to see for myself that they're normal people, just like like everybody is, because I idolized them, and I would get sick to my stomach when the Yankees, So my parents thought best. Now, and it was funny because my father came from Italy and was a baker, had a bakery in Brooklyn.
Awesome.
Which I brought bread for Phil Rizzuto and the gang.
That's great.
Which I loved. It was awesome bringing them cannolis and all of that. But if I didn't see that firsthand, Lindsay, that they are normal and they may have a lot more money than somebody else, but I saw it firsthand and that made me a better person.
Yeah. Because I mean, nowadays they have a lot more money, but back in the day, I mean, first couple of years my grandfather was playing, he had jobs in the off season. Like he and Joe Garagiola sold Christmas trees in a landscape lot on the hill in St. Louis just to put some extra cash in their pocket. Wow. He and Phil Rizzuto, they worked in a hardware store. They worked at the American Shops in Newark, which was a men's clothing store. And then finally they decided to open Rizzuto Berra Lanes in Clifton, New Jersey.
Yes.
Again, yes. I'm pointing, it's over there, folks. It's
I know.
It was out on Route 3, and they had that for a number of years. My grandfather's brother moved from St. Louis and was managing the bar, and Phil's brother managed the bowling alley, and it was an off-season source of income. Now, my grandfather's best year in the big leagues, he made $60,000, but most years he was making $47,000, $48,000, which is about the equivalent of like $500,000 today. So it's a good living. Yes. However, he had a wife, he had 3 kids, he had 3 brothers and a sister and parents and a million cousins back in St. Louis. And he was sending money home to all of them. And the money goes quick when you're supporting your entire family. So he needed an off-season source of income. I think the players today could support 17 full families without having to get another job. So it is a little different nowadays.
Teresa in the chat asks, Lindsay, congratulations on everything that you're doing. We love the museum. We've been there 2 times. We were there with the stamp of Yogi. Oh, and we have so many great memories of that day. And she asked, what was your favorite commercial that your grandfather made? Was it, Aflac? Was it Yoo-Hoo? Which one is the family's favorite?
There is a jockey underwear commercial that my grandpa Yogi, if you go to my Twitter, you might be able to search it, but if you Google maybe Yogi Berra jockey commercial, it'll come up, and it is Grandpa Yogi in the front wearing white jockey shorts and a white t-shirt, and my dad and my Uncle Tim and my Uncle Dale behind him all wearing colored jockey little outfits. And it's like jockey brand white underwear, jockey brand colored underwear, which is and Grandpa goes white and the boys go colored, and Grandpa goes white and the boys go, and they're arguing about what color underwear that you're supposed to be wearing, and I think it's hysterical. So that is probably my favorite. But you can't go wrong with the Aflac commercial with the duck and the Mihi for Yoo-Hoos, and the one where he's talking to the cat, like for the cat food commercial, which was just, and I actually think the cat was the voice of Whitey Ford was the voice of the cat. So that's
really cool. Oh, okay. Well, I love the money commercial. It's cash, just like money.
The Aflac. So there's a funny story I can tell about, Ron Guidry used to drive Grandpa around at spring training, was the subject of Harvey Araton's famous, now famous book, Driving Mr. Yogi. Yes. Gator dropped Grandpa off at the airport. They left from Tampa. He left from Tampa to go film that Aflac commercial. And when Grandpa came back, he jumps in Gator's truck outside the airport, and Gator says, "Yogi, how'd it go?" And Grandpa's quiet for a second. Then he looks at Gator and he goes, Gator, the duck don't talk. And when you hear Ron Guidry tell that story, it is hilarious. It's very fun.
That is unbelievable, really. I mean, the stories, we can go on, and I don't want to take up too much of your time. I know that you're very busy, but yeah, you've got to, after all that big event too, before anything, we'd love to have you come back and talk about that big event. Anytime. Sure. You are welcome here. Anytime you want to come on. If you ever have any time, please share it with us, because the chat's going absolutely bonkers to ask you questions.
Everybody's asking about the commercials. They give you cash, which is the same as my favorite yogiisms. Of everyone always asks me this, and people are always surprised. They're the existential ones. I like the future ain't what it used to be. If the world were perfect, it wouldn't be. I do like deja vu all over again, but they're all just very useful. There's one for any life situation you can encounter.
Well, there's the pitching one. Baseball 90%.
Baseball is 90% mental. The other half is physical.
There you go. I mean, really, that is really the craziest and the funniest. He just, how can you not like this man? This man was so loved every which way, and it just goes on. And that's what I love about YouTube too, because you can do a lot with, seeing all the things. And I tell the fans too all the time, if you didn't get to see Yogi Berra, Mickey Mantle, or whoever, even Reggie Jackson in his prime, YouTube is there for the taking. Yeah. And you have to go to the Hall of Fame. And of course the museum, that's without saying. It's such an experience, and I love that ballpark.
Yeah, and the ballpark was recently, they returfed it, and it just looks beautiful now too. It's really great.
Lindsay, you still have a couple of minutes. We've got a little surprise for you.
Sure, I got like 5.
Yeah, okay. Well, I'm gonna bring him up. I think you might know this guy.
Yeah.
And here he is,
hey,
Mr.
Ethan, how are you?
Lindsay, how you doing?
Nice to see you.
Hey,
good. How's it going?
Good. Thank you for doing this for Joe and George.
Yeah, no problem.
The last
Are you coming on September 21st, Ethan?
Yeah, I'm planning on it. Actually, awesome. I'm going to talk to Billy about doing something with him too at your event.
Great.
Yeah, so I was with whoever doesn't know in the chat. I was with Lindsay actually at her stamp unveiling with her grandfather, and that's the first time I met her there in person. And I also had her on my show a couple years ago. That's when we first connected. And then I saw her in person at the museum. And guys, you better go visit the museum. It's truly amazing. A lot of history in there. And Lindsay, you're an amazing woman, and I'm glad that I'm connected with you and working with you. And keep up the amazing work. And I can't wait for your event, September 21st. It should be a fun one. And like I said, sorry. I know you're going through a lot right now. And sorry for that. And like I said, your family is truly amazing. A lot of history. And I'm glad that we're able to get you on here because I know you're a busy woman getting ready. September's around the corner, which is crazy.
I know. I can't even believe it. Summer's almost over.
Yeah. So her event is going to come in like a few weeks. So looking forward to that. Whoever's in the New Jersey area, please come out to that. It's going to be fun. And she's trying to make history, which is remarkable. So let's see if we can. We're going to do that. We're going to make history. And but Lindsay, it's great to see you again. So
great to see you as well. I do hope everybody comes out. And I do want to say, because a lot of people are like, "Oh, I'm not playing catch. I can't do that," or "What, I'm too old," or "too this," or whatever. The guidelines from Guinness. You only have to be 9 feet apart, and we're only playing catch for 5 minutes, and it doesn't matter if you drop the ball, and you can throw it underhand if you want. So anybody can do this. There is no requirement of no one's telling you you're going to have to hit like home plate on one bounce from center field. You're just tossing back and forth with someone very close to you. So it'll be, I see in the chat, have relatives in New Jersey. Get all the relatives in New Jersey to come out to Yogi's.
Now, wait a minute. Staten Island's got to get a little love too,
Well, Staten Island is invited to the catch. Everybody's invited to the catch. Los Angeles and Chicago, everyone's invited. You just got to get yourself here.
We're looking forward to it. That would be great. I really, really hope we can get down there, because I mean, I got to play catch with this guy Nitin because forget it. It's going to be a lot of fun. So, but we can't again, Lindsay. I know you're busy, but we can't thank you enough for coming on, and we'd really, really love to see you come back with us anytime, anywhere. We appreciate.
Thank you so much for having me, and George, if you get back to the museum, let me know.
Yeah, I will.
And hopefully we'll see you on September 21st. We'll see everybody out there. And even if you can't make it on September 21st, it is a great place to visit anytime you want. As Grandpa Yogi would say, we're open until we close, but it's actually open Wednesday through Sunday from 9 to 5.
And a little love for the birthday tomorrow.
Yeah. Happy birthday to George.
Thank you.
Many more. We'll sing a little bit here. We always do to everybody. So tomorrow we're going to sing to. I'm sorry, his first name is
Peter.
Peter. Okay.
Didn't I think I met him at the Sampa Valley.
You did. Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, we're gonna wish him well, many more. And to you and your family, I hope your father is 100%. We'd love to see him play some ball too. That would be great.
He'll be there. My dad is a over 70 softball star. Plays like 265 games a year. You can go watch him anytime you want. I don't want to.
Yeah. Don't worry. We'll try to keep him in Jersey and Staten Island. No worries.
Yeah.
But again, thank you. Celebrate a great birthday tomorrow. Love to the family. God bless you all. Thank you, Lindsay. And
thank you guys so much. Thank you.
We wish you the best on the and any information you can send us that I'd love to just keep putting on NY Yankee Mania. I'd really appreciate to do that.
The main piece of info right now is just folks go to yogisbigcatch.org and sign up September 21.
We will definitely do that. Thank you again. Have a wonderful day. And need I say, let's go Yankees?
Yep. Go Yanks. It ain't over. It ain't over until it's over.
Yeah, there you go.
All right.
Well, take care, Lindsay. Thank you so much.
George. Nice to see you, Nathan.
Bye. Very nice meeting you.
I'll see you September 21st.
All right. Bye, guys.
Take care. Thank you. Well, that was a great interview, guys.
Great job, George. Great job, Joe. You guys killed it. I'm just glad that we were able to make it happen for you guys. And what a great show. She's amazing, and what a treat. And it's great working with her and getting to know her over the years. And like I said, the first time I connected with her was on my show. It was like 2-3 years ago, and then I went to the Sampa mailing and then helped her out with some media stuff there, and got to meet a lot of great people. And the museum is amazing. Whoever's not been there, man, you got to go, man. This museum is truly amazing. A lot of history, and glad to be part of it. And George, you're coming September 21st, right?
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah, so
I'm gonna do everything I can to get there.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to come. So I'll try to hook up with you guys, as much as I can. I will let you know as soon as possible. Yep. I would really like to come. That would be a lot of fun. Nitin, you still have a couple of minutes before you have to go, so we talk a little bit.
I gotta go head to Trenton soon for the Trent Thunder thing. So, but
okay. So before you go, though, just give us your impressions on tonight's Yankee game, and just a little something, and then hopefully you'll come back for the post game. And again, thank you
first, Joe. That meeting I had, and George, that meeting I had went really well. So stay tuned. I'm hoping.
Yeah, listen, I can't keep any more fingers crossed and my feet. I can't walk now.
Yeah.
Because the good luck for you. So what am I supposed to do here? I let St. Anthony. Just let St. Anthony do the trick because I can't walk anymore. I have good luck for you all over the place.
Yeah. Well, hopefully it turns out something to be something big, but hopefully.
Let's hope so. I really hope you deserve it.
Yeah, but
just quickly, your Yankee view for tonight.
I'm hoping that Cam can go the distance like what Rodon did and Will Warren did. So I think I'm going to go have Cam go 6 innings, 6 or 7, 2 to 3 runs, 8 strikeouts, 2 walks, 6 hits, and then lineup is not out yet, right? Is it?
Don't believe it is yet.
No.
The first 2 games, the lineup was out early. I don't understand. But
Sometimes they come out early, sometimes they don't. I'm checking mine now, actually.
so my stars hitting the game will be Judge, Stanton, Belly.
The whole team?
Yeah, and then Chad Chisholm. There you go. Oh, lineup is out. Okay, Celia just said lineup is out.
Well, Aaron Boone just said he sees Giancarlo Stanton as an outfield option in the upcoming series against the Cardinals.
I do too.
If Aaron's not ready, he will definitely have a chance to play right field for the Yankees. You want to give the lineup? You have it?
Let me check. Let me see. Celia said. All right, hold on. Yep. All right, I have it here. Ready?
Go ahead.
All right. Batting first, center field, Trent Grissom. Batting second, DH, Aaron Judge. Batting third, left field, Cody Bellinger. Batting fourth, right fielder, Giancarlo Stanton. Batting fifth, Ben Rice. First base, batting sixth, Chaz Chisholm. Second base, seventh, Anthony Volpe. Shortstop, batting eighth, Ryan McMahon. Third base, batting ninth, Allison Wells, catcher.
I figured that Paul G wouldn't be in today's lineup, right? Remember we talked about that last night.
Yep.
I didn't think that that was gonna take place. What do you think of the lineup?
I think they're saving him for the St. Louis series.
Yep.
Because he's going to get a big standing ovation.
Obviously. Oh, I'm sure he will. What do you guys think of the lineup?
I like his lineup except for
Wells.
I mean Wells, but I think he's. You know what? I hope the key for him. I just hope he can. His his throwing has to get better, obviously. So that's the key. Well, I'm just hoping he can give us some production on the offense side, but the main focus should be the defense tonight, especially catching Cam. So I'm hoping he can do a good job at the defensive side.
Yeah, that really you're 100% right on that, George. How you feel?
I like this lineup. You know, I think the core's there. You know, the core pieces you needed day in and day out. There's no Paul G, which is expected with a tough righty like Joe Ryan. I think you can't just leave Wells out to dry. I think give him a few at-bats here or there. He will occasionally run into something, but would I like to see a guy like JC Escara? Maybe, because JC is a better defensive catcher, and I think if you got a rookie like Cam Schlittler, still finding it out at the major league level, I think a guy like JC Escara, who's very good at calling pitchers. Oh, well, I don't know if if Schlittler calls his own game or not. I don't believe he does. So I trust Escara behind the dish with calling the pitches. I trust Escara with the run game a lot more than Wells. So with a rookie pitcher, I would have liked to see a guy like Escara, but either way, you still have a way. You still find a way to have Judge and Stanton in this lineup, which I think is huge. We might have found our consistent leadoff hitter, Joe, for the rest of the year. We might have found him in Trent Grisham. Hopefully that carries on, and let's see what happens.
You know, I was. I'm sorry, Nitin. Are you on your way?
Yeah, I'm gonna drop here, but I'll see you guys on the post game most likely.
That sounds good.
Drive. All right, George. All right, Joe. All right, chat. See you guys. Let's go Yankees. Hopefully we get the series sweep.
Yes, and drive safe and have a great day. Enjoy.
Thank you.
Okay, George. What do you feel? What do you think the key of the game is? But SS says the key tonight is to knock Joe Ryan out of the game, obviously, the earliest as we can. Get his pitch count up as soon as possible. You agree with that assessment?
100%. I think that should be the first goal when you're facing a guy like Joe Ryan, who's a bulldog on the mound. You want him, get him out early. I'm not scared really at all of this Twins offense. So I think the primary goal should be to knock Ryan out early. I think you want Cam to have a great outing. I think this is a good lineup for him to do it with. So that's my main things I'm looking for. The key though is definitely get Ryan out early and to have Cam have a good game.
Yeah, and definitely. And you know what? I got a sneaky feeling Austin Wells is going to do something positive tonight. And I don't know. I get a really good feeling about that. How about you? You think maybe the couple of days might have lit a little fire under his cap or what?
More not about the rest, but more of just on the mental side that he knows he has to do something. I don't know if the rest really will benefit him whatsoever. It's not going to hurt him, but I think more just him realizing that the Yankees have another option in Ben Rice and that he needs to play as high as level as he can. So that's why I think there's a chance he could do something. Do I think? No, not really. Just because his offense keeps falling down and he keeps going down. And with a guy like Joe Ryan on the mound, it's tough for Wells. Maybe in the later innings you could see something happen, but not against Joe Ryan. That's what I'm trying to get.
All right. Well, listen, he could have an off night too. The Yankees could bring up that pitch count. I don't see why not.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, anything's possible. But yeah, no, we're striving for our third win in a row. And it's funny, I'm not used to usually by now we're just coming on and we're already an hour into the stream, George. That's pretty cool. Thank you. By the way, thank you everyone for having such a great stream here. You guys were wonderful. I really appreciate it. We actually had one comment that was kind of out of the way, but I totally understand. I mean, sometimes you say things, whatever.
Yeah.
And it was just a timeout for the person. And again, I apologize, but I didn't want Lindsay or anybody in the stream to see, anything that, it's not realistic. So I would just, I'm sorry that happened. One of the moderators had done it because just for the right thing. I don't want, because they see this just as much as you do, guys. You got to know that the players, the people that are guests see everything that's going on, and it's not right. And it's like that. If we don't take action, even if it's just a funny comment towards the guest or whatever, you can't leave that on. And I'm sorry if that offended somebody, even though it was a joke or something. You got to understand, they don't take it serious. They don't have to come on. They're doing us the favor. We're not doing them the favor. So again, if you did get, our feelings hurt, I apologize, but that's why we have moderators here, and they do have the right to put a timeout. Because I don't really believe, to ban anyone unless you really say something that's either hurtful towards me or the stream or a guest or a player or whatever. Just not right. Just something that you wouldn't want in your life. So I wanted to bring that out to you guys, and that's why we did what we did. No disrespect to anyone. George, first of all, thank you so much for being finding some time to come on with us in the afternoon.
Thanks for having me. What a great privilege.
No, it's great to have you.
She was great.
You do a fantastic job in your interviews and talking and analyzing, and it's really a pleasure. From the time you came on, this show has just grown and grown. So, I take my hat off to you for the good you and Ben and Evan. I couldn't ask for better people on here. I'm very, very serious about that, guys. Because if I didn't think it, I live I breathe this stuff, guys. I really do. I want to bring you the best. And now tomorrow, we're going to be bringing you a wonderful, very, very attractive in her field with being an actress and everything, Caterina Michio, who's won about 8 awards. She's been in the movie The Wrestler. She's been in a lot of movies, and she directs. And not only does she have great movies she directs, she's an incredible artist. So it's going to be real interesting to hear her story and how she got involved with all of this. So that show is going to be on tomorrow at 4:00, our regular time for the pregame. So get your questions ready too. Thank you everyone for all the questions and the good stuff. Lindsay was a great sport. She answered each and every one. If I didn't get to your question, everyone, you'll be able to have another. She will come back. After that event on the 21st, we're hoping. She's invited here anytime. And it was great. I thought you guys were great in the stream. I tip my hat out to you. You respected her. You respected NY Yankee Mania. I can't ask for more than that. George, I think I'm speaking for all of us.
Yeah.
I thought everybody did, and shout out to everybody that's in the chat, on the phone that couldn't come on, but they are listening. And like I always say, everyone, it keeps going up with the people that are in our stream that are listening and they have not subscribed. Come on, guys. After that nice interview and everything, you want more like that? Give us some ideas and we'll try to get them on for you. But you got to give me an idea and subscribe to the program. Press the like button. Subscribe to the program. As I said, it takes 2 seconds. It doesn't cost you anything. You just got to go to NY Mania, Yankee Mania, press the subscribe and leave. And again, we really, really appreciate it. And another thing that I'm a little proud of is not only are we being seen and heard of here, but we are getting viewers now in Italy, and we have some in the Dominican Republic. So kudos to all of you. Thank you. Really, really appreciate that. I just found that out yesterday. Did not get a chance to thank each and every one of you. So if somebody could subscribe from Italy, you guys can subscribe from New York, Pennsylvania, California, no matter where you are. Right, Judge?
Oh, yeah, Joe. And it's worth subscribing, too. You get some great content. I mean, what other show is doing, on average, three live shows a day? I mean, come on. You can't beat the quality you're getting here. There's always content going on. It's always a party over here. And we keep having these great guests like Lindsay. And let me just say this. The way Lindsay, like how she is as a person, you could just tell she comes from a really good family. You could just tell she was raised really well. And you just got a sense of how great the Berra family is as a whole, which was really great to see. So just wanted to shout that out a little bit. Just talk about how I experienced that. Thank you, George.
That was so nice for you to say. And again, we have we still have a Yankee game to watch.
Oh yeah,
we got a post game to come back to,
and we got play-by-play. You and Evan.
We got the play-by-play. There's a lot more to do here. We got the play-by-play with Evan at 7 p.m. right here on NY Yankee Mania. You gotta subscribe. Come on, rah this man. He's ready, willing, and able. And it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm really looking forward to him. He's been here a short time, and he's really, really been outstanding. And he promotes the show. He promotes NY Yankee Mania, and my hats go out to you guys. You guys have, and Ben, even though he's a Met fan, no, just kidding. We are looking forward to Ben coming when he comes back, giving us a full report. He did text me. He said hello to the stream. He said, he told me, he said, I know a lot of people are going to get on me because the Mets aren't playing well, but it's all in fun, and that should be fun. We'll let you know ahead of time when Ben is going to return. In the morning, like I said, we have Jonathan, the Master of Information. In the stream, we have Bryce, who gives us some great updates. And that's not to say you other ones don't either. Joan is great. Celia's really, really good. Real Bill, of course, Sean Browning, who's a contributor to the program. He's a morning guy or afternoon or evening, depending on his schedule. So there are so many people that I need to thank and are being endless and are looking forward to the show and promoting on their own. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. That's all I could really say. This show's about you guys, not just about the Yankees, not just talk Yankees. Let's talk about you. You're the fans that have brought this to the table. You make it worthwhile. You make it fun. And you send us to different heights. Going to interview this one, going to the ballpark, who's going to interview Double A Yankees, who's going to the Yankee game, who's doing this, who's doing. You know where we get that from? You guys, because you guys deserve it. As you keep coming back and back for more, and we love it, and I want to do more. Hey, when we hit 500 subs, somebody's going to win $100. If that's not a little love, then I don't know what is. And NY Yankee Mania is not tooting their own horn. We are not. This is to say thank you to all of you. And there will be more. But we got to get there. Come on. I don't want to wait another year or something. Let's do this. We're not that far away. George, so we're going to put the link out again for 10 o'clock. But we're going to be on anyway. There will be if anything, George, I'd like, you're definitely going to come on, right?
Post game?
Yeah.
Yes.
So if you could come on as we're narrowing down the games so that we could catch your breath for a few minutes. And
you want me to come on like ninth inning or after ninth inning?
Yeah, you come on towards the end as the game is ending, take over if you don't mind, if you could do
take
it.
Over play by play?
No, you can come on. What I mean is, as the game, as we're saying goodbye, to give a little break.
Yeah.
So that we could catch our breath and you could describe the game, commentary, whatever you like. But if you want to come on, like at the end of the game, that's fine. I have no problem with that.
Sounds like a plan to me, Joe.
Yeah, I try. If I didn't trust, your tardiness, the way you are, I wouldn't ask you. And I have the utmost respect and trust in you that you could do this. Even if we go for a cold soda or what do you call seltzer water, just to take a little break, I would appreciate that.
Yeah.
And so thank you. I appreciate that. I'm going to send the link is out, actually. I will send that to you as soon as we end the stream.
Perfect.
So we got a few minutes. Again, anything, George, you want to get out there promotion-wise? You got whatever you got going on. By all means, tell the fans. Go ahead.
Promotion-wise, kind of put me on the spot here. Just trying to think. What's kind of definitely follow the Instagram. That's my biggest content platform. High school football season is coming up, so be on the lookout for that. I do all the sports commentating, the play-by-play for most of the North Jersey high schools for football. So be on the lookout for that. We'll be doing all of that. I'm really excited. Always that great time of year, back to school season. So I'll be bundled up at my booth calling some football games. But until then, trying to think of some days. We do have some coverage coming on with some top 10, even a few top 5 Yankee prospects, some interviews coming through. So be on the lookout for that. Those will be coming in the next few weeks.
Okay.
And a few other exciting stuff that I'm really excited to share. Lots of interview stuff, a few more pop-ups at the Trend Thunder. So just a lot of great content. It's all on Instagram. You can find me swinging for the fences. I'm the first one that comes up. And yeah, I would really appreciate some follows over there. And yeah, really just hope you guys check it out. Come over. We're getting close to 800 followers. We're at 750 on the dot. So I'm just trying to get to hopefully 800 by Halloween. That would be ideal for me. So if we can make that happen, man, I'd be a happy guy if y'all could follow that.
Well, that would be great. There's no reason why you shouldn't get it for the content that you put out and all. Are you kidding me? Kudos to you. Everybody for sure. Do that. And also remember at 7 p.m. today, Yankee Mania presents the play-by-play with Evan and Joe in the background. So let's rah him. It's his first game, and it's gonna be a blast. It's gonna be a lot of fun. And if you do have questions, maybe in between the innings, we'll tackle them. Let's give kudos to Evan tonight, guys. I would really appreciate that. Nothing else. Do that as rah to NY Yankee Mania. And I really do hope you show up. Tell your friends, tell your family. Watch the Yankee game on Prime and let us entertain you a little bit. So, final thoughts, man, and we'll come back a little bit later on. Go ahead, George.
Yeah, hold on one sec. I'm just getting the link for the people in the chat.
Okay.
For the Instagram, so let me just get the link real quick.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna have to do it through my phone, but I'll talk while I do that. So just final thoughts I got on this on the game tonight. Let's go in for the sweep, like some people said. Let's try and get to Joe Ryan early. I think that would be huge right there, just to knock him out. Let's have the lineup go like we did last night, 1 through 9. Just keep hitting the ball. Hopefully Volpe could continue his hot hitting like he has been, which would be really great to see. Have him be that solid shortstop in the 9 hole. Just actually sending my links in right now for you guys. So that should be coming through. But really, just excited to see what the Yankees can do in this one. Excited to see them maybe get on a hot streak, Joe. Maybe they sweep the Twins. Maybe they get the brooms out, and then they go on guns blazing into St. Louis and really take down the Cardinals. And then you're really gaining ground in the AL East. You're really gaining ground in the wild card, which should be our first priority. It should be taking down Boston, trying to get the first spot in the wild card, and then we could start talking about Toronto. But like everyone's been saying, easy schedule going forward. Mr. Met, I work for NFHS, which is the streaming. Jersey Sports Zone is kind of the sideline stuff. NFHS is more of the live broadcast, like the huddle stuff, what college recruiters are seeing. So that's all of that. But really, I just want to see the Yankees get on a hot streak, which is first, like Charles said, 1 game at a time. But we could take down the Red Sox soon. I think that's going to be a huge series, though.
Where is that? I'm sorry, George. Is that Fenway or New York?
Ooh, let me check that for you. But hopefully it's in New York. I mean, that would be the game.
Yeah,
there.
I don't know because I don't know. I think it's in New York.
Last series was in Fenway. That was that Mother's Day series. So yeah, it is in New York.
Great.
So that should be good to see. And I just feel like that's going to be a huge series because about that, then if the Yankees do play like they should, we should be about even with the Red Sox. So then, yeah, I'm just excited for it, man.
Yeah, 1 day at a time, and we keep playing. We win today. That's it. As Mariano Duncan said in that magical year, the first year of Joe Torre. So, everyone, thanks so much. Let's win 3 games in a row here in 2025. It would be nice, and let's keep going from there. So, remember, everyone, we take a little break here. We will be back at 7 p.m. with the play-by-play of tonight's Yankee Twin game. And then right after that, come and join us for our post-game show. And then we will have our morning show tomorrow morning at 8:30. And then the very special show with Caterina Michio that will come on live with us and talk about her tremendous and beautiful career. So enjoy your dinner, everyone. Whatever you're having, lunch, dinner, brunch, whatever it is, enjoy it. Thank you so much for coming on and making it a wonderful stream for us here. at the start at 3 p.m. And thank you. Love you guys. God bless you all. God bless America. Let's go Yankees. We'll see you at the first pitch. Take care, everyone. Thank you, George.
Thank you.